few different meals that I cycle between. And I do just want to say, if you hear any kind of like background white noise, that is my heating that's just come on. Unfortunately, I cannot do anything about that because it's freezing in our house now. It's just started to really cool down in Ontario. So apologies if that's annoying, but I'm hoping it'll be like a little white noise. So the other thing I wanted to mention is that I find talking about food as well on shorts, but I'll leave the original recipe that I saw for Greek yogurt pancakes. And I never really made pancakes before. For some reason I thought that they were like kind of difficult, but I absolutely love those. I will then add, again, typically butter and maple syrup, and because they have egg and Greek yogurt, they're kind of filling because they have like that protein to them. And recipe. I love making that and adding shrimp to it. So then it's not vegan, but the base of it is. But I'll add my own stuff, adding shrimp, adding tofu, adding like really anything. I also love like the, I don't know what it's called, but it's like that vodka pasta sauce. Just like really tomatoey and basil-y and garlicky. I don't actually ever use vodka though. I don't know why. I think because I started making that when I was pregnant, and I know that it burns off, but I just never had vodka. I love that type of thing. We love salmon. I love making salmon with like veggies. I keep things very simple. And then when it comes to takeout, if we ever do takeout, which is often, actually, I don't know why I'm saying if we ever do it, when we do it, our go-to is we do a lot of pizza. I actually don't like, I know this is controversial, my partner is obsessed with Domino's. I guess it's like a big thing in the UK because he's from England. I don't like Domino's here. I find it really dry, but I'll eat it if I'm like hungry. So we do pizza, and that's what he always wants is Domino's. There's a really good like chicken wings place that we get. We like shawarma, chicken bowls, like burrito bowls. Let me think. Oh, we like Indian food. That's pretty much like our go-tos. And then the odd time we'll get like McDonald's or just burgers. But funny enough, when I was pregnant, I kind of got the ick towards very specific foods. Burgers was one of them. Coffee was one of them. And I've definitely warmed back up to coffee, but burgers still, I don't know. I'm still